I'm Nick.
And I'm Julie.
And today we wanted to introduce a new series of videos.
I wanted to interview some influential people in the pin community.
Yeah, right now though, during the quarantine, we can't really sit down face to face with everyone. So these are going to be internet interviews.
The first video in this series is an interview we did with our friends Joey and Alex.
We met them trading in the park, and not only are they really good traders, but they're incredible pinvestigators. If you meet them and you ask them to look for a pin for you, they're amazing at locating that pin and trying to help you work out a trade.
So let's go on to our pin venture.
Today we're talking to two really good friends of ours. This is Joey and Alex, better known as Zippitydooshaw. Hi guys.
Hello. So today we wanted to get a chance to know a little bit more about you guys, since we know how much you love pins. We wanted to share your love of pins with everyone else. So do you think you could give us a little backstory on your guys' pin hunting?
I've liked pins for a while, and I kind of introduced Alex a little bit to pins, but it wasn't anything big. But then, what was it, May?
It was March of 2018.
Okay. Alex broke his leg. He broke his tib and fib. It was a pretty bad fall. Could have been a lot worse. And he was confined to a wheelchair. And to be honest, we were Disney annual pass holders, but we contacted Disney thinking there's no way with this that we're going to be able to take advantage of that. So I basically asked them, can we cancel our passes? We had just renewed. I didn't foresee us being able to go at all, and they were working with us to do that. And then as soon as he was completely cleared to go mobile in his chair, we kind of talked about it, and he's like, why don't we just try Disney? And I kept thinking of the horror stories that came along with that. But we gave it a shot, and can't ride a ton of rides and you can't really transfer. So we started really pin trading and talking to people and fell in love with it, I guess.
Yeah, I have to correct it. I thought she was going to say when we first went to Disney, which was March of 2018. I broke my leg April of last year, April of 2019. So I personally have only gone to Disney for 2 years. I didn't know Disney before I met Joey. I had no idea what Disney really was. I just knew it was a park out in Orlando.
You're welcome.
But kind of going off of what Joey was saying is we just continued to trade pins. People began to ask certain pins. We had, this pin or that pin. And so we got to talking, and since I was going to be out of work for a while, we said, why don't we start pin hunting people? And
investigating.
So we started investigating, and that's where we're at today.
Yeah, and I mean, you've met and so many people since that time. So anyone that's viewing the video, if you have traded pins at Magic Kingdom in the last year and a half, I couldn't imagine that you haven't met Joey and Alex.
True.
Every day.
And if you have met Joey and Alex, you know how amazing they are. Just two genuine people that can quickly become two really good friends, like they become for us. So we're really fortunate to know you two. One of my favorite stories you guys have told me before, and how you really got together. Would you mind sharing that story?
Back when Hurricane Matthew had hit, she was attending a church that was doing hurricane cleanup, and I was attending a different church. We were going around to people's houses and picking up debris, setting fences back up, tarping roofs, pretty much whatever people needed. And I saw this beautiful rainbow out of all the dark sky, and it was Joe. And the minute I saw her, though, I knew immediately. It was the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. So near the end of the day, I just went up and asked her for her phone number. She gave it to me, but little did I know she really didn't want me to have it. So.
Interested in anyone or anything at that time, and he was very patient and chased me for about a year and a half. And that was
a year and a half
just for one date, as free goes. But as soon as I finally was like, fine, and we went on that one date, we've literally been inseparable.
Together.
I love that.
So that year and a half was really worth it, right?
Well, I mean, it's a year. No, it was worth every moment. good things come to those who wait.
But when did you guys just start collecting pins?
So when we got our annual passes in March of 2018, we had very good friends of ours that we were like, hey, you guys should get annual passes too, so we have somebody to go to the park with. And so they did. And her husband, Will, said, I want to start collecting something. So he started looking at like hats and Funko Pops. And one day, I'm start collecting pins. And we both looked at him and said, dude, that's the lamest thing I've ever heard in my life. As he got this lanyard and I watched him kind of pin trade a little bit, I'm like, oh, that pin is kind of cool. So, you know, we watched him do this a couple visits, and finally we went ahead and bought a couple lanyards. Believe it or not, we bought them online. Be careful what you buy off of eBay, because I'm a huge Raiders fan. And so she knows my soft spot. She got 2 Raiders lanyards. Well, we got these lanyards, got a couple pins, and we started.
I'll just tell this part of it, because
Go ahead.
we were literally wearing them down the monorail ramp, and someone from behind me yells, hey, Raiders. I was like, he's mocking the Raiders. He's like, Raiders, those are cheap, blah, 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 blah. And we're like, whatever, dude. Walk away. And I looked down. Mind you, we've been wearing these for what, a month?
Oh,
month and a half? They literally said Raiders. They were
so-
Oh my gosh.
for $1.99 on eBay, and now we
Pay for it. But that's actually how we got started into pin trading. And we were going with our friends all the time, and we didn't ride rides. We just were trading pins.
traded pins.
So I don't know if you actually like have a specific count, but do you have a good estimate of how many pins you think you have right now?
Currently, roughly, I would say we're probably close to 20,000 now.
My gosh.
Let me ask you this. How do you decide what pins that day you're going to bring to the park?
Oh,
Go ahead,
literally, that is something that comes out of the mind of me. Whatever I feel like putting on a page that looks pretty, or if I have some random theme that's sort of accidentally already started, I will just work that in and make it fit. And sometimes maybe we created a few, and I'm like, oh, I can put this big guy over here to fill the space. But yeah, it's
But
really,
to be honest, you know, also what plays in that, you know, because we've met many people, we've been blessed to know a lot of different people that go to the park. If they're going to be there, they'll kind of give us a heads up that they're coming. And we always try to make sure something that we know that they like.
whether it's
you know,
something we
because
showed them or something we just wanted to surprise them with and have in the bag in case they want it, we'll plug that
Makes
in.
it fun.
Yeah.
So are there still pins that you personally still like to collect? Like, are there any themes that you see and you're like, oh, I need that pin for me?
For me, anybody that knows me knows it's anything Hannah Montana or High School Music.
Yeah.
There's still a few out there that I haven't got my hands on, but I promise you I will one day. I have to keep hunting. But the collection that I do have that not people know is I particularly like Lumpy from the Heffalumps, because there's not very many of them. I think there's only 6 that have been made, and I know what yours are.
Yeah. Jumbo all day. Especially when he's with his mommy. That's a thing that it's for my son and I.
Do you have like an ultimate Grail pin that you're like, okay, if I see this, like you're willing to like trade a kidney or something for it?
Probably for me, it's the Profile Sorcerer Geek pin.
I don't know why he wants that, but
I just want it because I've never actually seen it in person.
No.
I've never seen anybody actually have it.
Seen a lot of other profiles, but never seen Sorcerer.
If I can ever have the opportunity, I've got 2 kidneys. I might be able to get one up.
And for me, there's a Mama Jumbo bathing Dumbo, and she's just scrubbing inside his ear, and he's got this little face, and I love that pin, everything about it. So that will be it.
Can you think of like the pin that you have traded for that you're like, wow, this was probably one of my best trades?
For me, it was a trade that we did. It was a big trade with a family from Netherlands.
Yeah.
And that Marie that we got is the center.
Yeah, we actually
of
got 2 of them. We got the Acme
limited edition 100, and the Marie with the songbook, the notes behind her, I have on my page of my Pinfolio that I wear on my back.
And then we got a Lady in the Tramp that we traded with them as well.
That one I don't even want to take out of the box. That was pretty, but that was probably like one of the biggest trades.
Kind of in line with that is, have you ever been in negotiating and just, you know, didn't have things work out, but you still think of the pin that you missed? Is there a pin that, you know, you got away?
Yeah.
Yep. I know right away. Somebody had a limited edition 300 stitch Acme set, and they were trading them, and we had what they wanted, but I just felt like they were maybe just asking for a little bit.
Let's just say that this is one that we had to battle personally over, because I'm like, let's do it.
And
She
like,
wasn't ready, because it was a big commitment of a trade.
They wanted a lot of stuff, and some of the ones that they had picked were Dumbo things that I was like emotionally.
Yeah.
So I had a really hard time just being like, yeah, walking away from it and looking back now. And I'm like, we can still find them. I've seen them online. Yeah, now they're online for 2 times what they were then. So it's almost impossible to find that set again. And if we were to, we would never pay what they're asking. So had we known what we know now, we would have definitely made the trade. I should have listened to husband. Oh, but don't ever repeat that to anyone.
Woohoo, I get one in the book. Because I have to always remember one thing. First of all, and if I can say anything, it's just a piece of metal. It really is. The memories that you make and the relationships that you make by trading something as simple as a pin, there's really no pin out there that I wouldn't give up to for somebody to see the joy on their face. There's not really a price to that you can put on the joy with it.
I'm learning. And he's taught me that it always comes back around.
And I feel like, personally, I've learned, you know, a lot of good etiquette about pin trading just from talking to you guys and seeing your compassion and what you just talked about, seeing the joy that you can bring others by trading. You know, that's something really cool. And I hope a lot of other traders can learn that too. Because, you know, I just think you two embody such compassion, and we love you for that. So we've talked a lot about you guys trade at Magic Kingdom. Do you guys only trade at Magic Kingdom?
That's our we would call it our home part. When the pandemic was not going on, we would pretty much we were there just about every single day.
It's the most magical.
Plus they have Wendell-Berry. Have to go there. And then occasionally we'll go over to Epcot. We like to trade over there as well. There's some really good people over there.
Now, hidden Mickeys are really fun to collect and make really great traders in the park. Do you think there are other categories of pins or types of pins that are good starting out traders for someone that's new to the hobby?
Definitely. Always mystery box pins. Always. Because your pin that you might open is going to be different than what I open. You know, so you might get the exact pin that I want, and I might have what you want, and we get to trade right then.
You will meet probably more people if you do mystery packs or like puzzle pieces and things like that, because it almost drives you to go talk to somebody else and ask them if they have a pin that you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if Nick remembers, I'm sure he does, but we had to utilize your help. Like, we had you in one spot and like other friends here and this and that, and like we were all just trying to complete our very first puzzle that we completed it in a day, thanks to Nick, because you got one for us, which was a huge deal. But
so actually that leads me to my visual aid. You found for me one of my most favorite pins, so I'm going to hold it up. So you guys actually Pinvestigated this for me. I said, I love Frankenweenie. I don't care what pin of Frankenweenie it is, but if you can find me any Frankenweenie pin, please do. That would be awesome. And you guys succeeded and got me one of my favorite pins. So can you just talk a little bit about the actual Pinvestigating part? Like, we know you meet a lot of people, and that's probably one of the big things that help you find the pins. But I think there is something else. I think you guys just have a natural knack. Is there anything else you could add to that?
First of all, I have to give credit to Joey. She has a memory for who has what pin and what they're looking for. We sometimes go to like a 3 to 4 party trade.
Yep.
We may end up trading with one person to get them to trade with another person to get a specific pin that you might be looking for.
Yeah, sometimes it takes a little bit longer than we might like it to take, but it's usually pretty successful. And that's along with the puzzle piece kind of thing. That's it. You need people. Like you need the help of other people, which is super cool. And it's very Disney. That
And
they
of
went
course,
and have
social
it work
media
out.
does help.
Got tired of people being like, are you on Instagram? Are you on Facebook? Are you on? So we started an Instagram, and he agreed to let me name Zippitydooshaw when it worked. So thankfully, we're able to be found and reach that way. But yeah, thanks, social media.
So we've been talking about Disney pins, but what are your thoughts about fantasy pins? Because I love fantasy pins.
Julie, I'm on board with you.
Me too.
I love them. And when we like really started pin trading, I always said, we're not doing fantasy. I'm just not doing it. There's so many Disney pins out there that who needs fantasy pins too? And then somebody put one of them big shiny pins in front of me, and I was like, they showed me that. I remember the first real fantasy pin like that I really was a Winnie the Pooh.
Yep.
And like, he was so yellow and bright. And from there, it's been like, I like them. I think they're cool.
We do love them. I think sometimes they're way more detailed than Disney does it, and the character mashups that they come up with are amazing. You never see anything like that with Disney.
It makes it difficult though because it's hard to put value to it.
Yeah, you have to know your maker
Yeah.
for sure, and maybe know the like Ellie, the edition size.
Mhm.
But honestly, if it's for your own personal collection, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
You know, if you love it,
Go
then
for it.
there it is. You know, so I think fantasy pens there are certain people that won't trade them. They're like, no, you know, and then there are other people that's all they want to collect. So it just like any other
They're
pen,
becoming more and more popular, I believe.
and just with like any other pin, it takes a certain person or it doesn't, you know, and that's okay. It's not for everyone, but they're so that's you can't
People
trade them
will
all.
definitely save themselves money if they don't collect them.
Yeah, they are hard to
Because-
get and expensive.
But yeah, it's a piece of art. So you either love it or you don't.
So right now within our hobby, I feel like we're all at kind of this crossroad with the pandemic going on. We're recording this late May. I don't know when we'll actually get to posting it, but we know right now that Universal is going to open up first. Disney, as of this recording, when we're actually filming this, has not announced. But you know, a lot of people feel like an announcement is imminent. So, what do you guys think is the future of this hobby? Do you think there's going to be any pin trading at all? Do you think it's going to be modified?
Okay, me personally, I don't think they're going to really have any pin trading at the parks. Not for a while. And we have to be okay with that. You know, people's health and livelihoods are at stake. You know, we all have grandparents. We have, you know, people in our lives that we care about, and we don't want anybody to get sick. Thank God, like Joey said, for social media, because, you know, I think people have probably done more online trading than probably ever before. And it may have to be like that for another year. We don't really know.
Until there's at least like a vaccine of some sort, it's not safe, you know, unfortunately. And it's sad to say
And
that.
it's tough for us because this is our career. This is our livelihood. So we're kind of in the boat that a lot of other people are. But you know, thank God we've been blessed, and so we're okay, and we're just going to do whatever Disney says. We're kind of at their mercy, and that's okay.
You guys have really connected with so many people, and that's one of the things that I respect about you so much. You make real relationships with people. You know, you really care about not only the guests but with cast members too. You know, when I see you guys at the park, it's almost like everyone comes by and knows you guys, and that's so awesome to see.
We got into pins because we love pins, but really for the people.
It's more about the relationships than the metal.
Yep. So this
And
for
that's
us,
that's like our bio on our Instagram, and it's something that we can never want to forget, man. If it gets down to a situation where it comes to a trade and this person really wants to win, I would rather just give it to them. You know, I mean, it's like if you can make a memory for somebody, just do it. You know, just
even when it's not easy.
pull the trigger and do it.
This is like our church.
Yeah.
That's how we put it.
We like, you know, the cool thing about the pin community is it is a community. You can bring other pin traders to interact with one another. You guys know firsthand basis, we like to do scavenger hunts. The reason,
I love it.
listen, we don't do that because it's easy and it's a lot of fun. We do it because it brings people together.
Yeah.
And people sit there and interact with people they probably wouldn't have talked to otherwise. So that's why we like doing our pop-up pin and stuff like that. Of course, we get joy out of it, but more about watching everybody interact and get to know one another.
When we did one of your scavenger hunts, the first one that you guys did, we had gone to Magic. I think it was Magic Kingdom. We started at Magic Kingdom, and then we went to Animal Kingdom, and we're like, how? We're gonna have to talk to people, like,
Which is easier for her than it is for me.
But I think that day we learned that like you can make some amazing trades.
Yeah. Didn't you find 2 dog bones?
Well, at least
Did we find 2 or just one?
Just one.
But it was the second one we had ever found.
Okay.
And it was a little kid on her lanyard, and it was amazing because we were like, oh, we're doing the scavenger hunt, and then they were like, well, let's look at the list. How can we help you? And it was like there's pins on our board that we got from trading with a family.
That's cool.
Yeah. And they weren't even part of the scavenger hunt, but that was a good trade.
We met a lot of great people that day.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to play a part in the story some way or somehow, and if you can let them be a part in yours, then awesome.
I can't wait for those times to be able to come back. And we kind of going off what you guys, the vibe you give off. We have to be positive, and like you said, it's gonna happen eventually. We just have to be patient and be ready for that time. Guys, thank you so much. It's always such a pleasure being able to talk to you guys, and we really appreciate you coming on and giving this interview with us. So obviously right now we can't go to the parks. We can't connect, and you guys can't meet new people that way. How can people connect with you right now?
For right now, we're on Instagram, and our handle is Zippitydooshaw. Alex and Joey Shaw.
At least every day, right? You guys put up a board with some really cool finds. So if you are looking for a pin, definitely check out their Instagram page.
Yep. Every day that we put up a $5, $10, $20 board, and then Saturday is $3 boards. But it's not really about those. If you guys are looking for a pin, come and ask us, and we'll do our best to locate it for you.
Absolutely.
We will put a link in the descriptions to your Instagram account, and anyone watching, when this all passes and when we can all come together and be closer than 6 feet to each other, if you see Joey and Alex, you have to go up and say hi. They're 2 of the best people you'll ever meet, and it's just a pleasure to have you guys in our lives. So thank you so much.
And thank you guys. Nick especially, you're one of the first people that we actually met when we started doing this. And you guys have become probably one of our favorite couples. We love you guys. We love seeing you guys when you guys are at the park.
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. And hopefully we will be seeing you soon at the parks in the next couple of months.
Soon.
But we will for sure be checking in on you guys on Instagram.
Please do.
Well, you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for talking, and we'll catch you soon in the parks.
Thanks, guys.
See you real soon.